All right, welcome back, everybody. We're having our last pitch of this segment, and then we'll bring everybody back in for around a 30-minute kind of round kind of discussion panel, and then we'll take a break and then come back into our final session of the day. So I want to introduce straight away Matt Page. He's calling in from Singapore, so it's quite late there. Appreciate you coming over and kind of introducing yourself, Matt. And you're representing Finx Flo. So yeah, over to you, Matt. Maybe tell us all about the project.
Great, thanks, David. Hi, everyone. So my name is Matt Page. I'm the head of institutional sales for Finx Flo. And thank you very much for the opportunity for us to highlight our project. Hopefully, I'll be able to share my screen and we will get it going. Sorry, guys. I've just got a new computer and I've just got to give access.
No worries.
Right, there we go.
So how do you pronounce it? Finx or Finx?
Finx Flo, yeah.
Finx Flo, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
No worries. Hopefully, we will be good to go now.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, we have your full screen. So
great. Now, as it was a little bit last minute, the presentation we've got is probably a bit more detailed and larger than is needed. So do excuse me as I skip through some bits of the salient points. And this will be available for everyone. I presume they can download this in the white paper afterwards.
Yeah, we can share whatever information you give.
Right.
For now,
there'll be more detail than I'm going to discuss on here. So thanks very much for that. So Finx Flo, we're the world's first hybrid liquidity aggregator. We are bridging the gap between traditional crypto, DeFi and CeFi, and we're aggregating rates and prices from the world's leading protocols, granting users the access to the best prices. So it's best price, best liquidity, and best execution on one platform. We all know some of the problems that we face, multiple screens and logins and all of that. We're aiming to solve all that for you. We're all aware of the rise of DeFi, and we're at what, 14.5 billion when I look today. There's a huge opportunity. It's on its second wave, and we want to make it easier and simpler, less scary for multiple people to tap into that. So our main motives for this platform is the issues coming to the space, be it institutional, casual investor, veteran investor. We all know multiple accounts, multiple screens, 13 exchanges, all different prices, different protocols, disparities across all the protocols. There's no guarantee of best price, money on each of the exchanges, and gas fees. By having it in one location with one KYC that is secure and accredited is our platform. So there's no need to go outside of that ecosystem, and trust and security forms the basis of this. And regulation is key, especially as more investment comes from traditional finance. We won't be able to get away from that. And that is where the big money is coming from. I think we can all agree that. So our platform will solve that solution and provide access to DeFi and CeFi all in one location. So how does it work? We've got a hybrid aggregation engine that's working across DEX and SEX, trading pairs, providing deep liquidity. It's automatic price and rate discovery. We are MAS regulated in grandfathering status at the moment in Singapore. And when we get to our roadmap, because we're actually accelerating beyond a roadmap at the moment. We'll explain a bit more about where we're going with Europe and the US. But the key is our FXF token is going to form the utility on our platform. We'll have farming, and that token can be used to reduce trading fees and giving incentives to provide liquidity onto our system. And another key thing is your assets are secure and insured, and they're off that exchange. They're held with us and regulated custody. We aim to be really fast and low latency, and we're bridging the gap between traditional. So in Q2, we'll have the technical standardization to plug into the Fix API for the traditional players, and REST and WebSocket for other protocols. But our founders are from an FX trading background, high-speed trading. So speed, low latency, fault tolerance is critical for us. And that's where we're going to be able to use our aggregation engine with speed to get you the best price. So the idea is to have it in one location, one-click protocol, really friendly for institutions, mobile app as well. And as I mentioned, regulation and security is at the foundation of what we do. And you can go and check this yourself. Go into the website, you can check our status with the MAS, which is the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and we will be doing the same thing in Europe and the same thing in the US. So our FXF token is going to be there to generate token liquidity. We've got DAO voting governance, and there'll be more as our platform grows on how that token can be utilized and speculated on. This is a brief overview of the tokenomics. There's 600 million total tokens. We are right at the end of our private sale. This is probably going to conclude in 10 days. And everyone's got skin in the game from FXF. And you'll see on the white paper, there's different lock-in periods. The team's got a 3-year. So we want this to be a stable and growing platform where there's a real utility to our token. So here's our current roadmap. We just opened last month our office in Cyprus. That's ahead of schedule so that we can start the European regulation. That's going to kick off in Q1. US, we brought forward, and that's going to be Q1. We're going to set up our office in the US and start that process, which will be long for the US regulation. So our platform will go live in Q1, end of Q1. Currently, right now, there's a demo that you can go on our website and request access to the demo so you can see how it works. You've got 4 pairs that you can have on one screen at one time. So it gives you a lot more scope when looking for that best price across different multiple pairs. We've got a great C-level team. James, our co-founder, he really, the sort of genesis of Finx Flo came about of his issues that he had with Mt. Gox and the hack, and subsequently losing his funds, which is why security and trust is a real key part of our platform. Thomas has got many years experience in solution architect in standard traditional finance, and Liam's also heavily experienced FX based commodities. We've got a really good board of advisors, some of which will be very well known to you. Mark from Liquid, he's our technical advisor, the head of flow products there. Joel, who I'm sure you all know, Michael Turpin. It's a great team of advisors to guide us as we're charging forward for release in 2021. So it's a really exciting time. Everyone can see that in crypto. It's that feeling, and it's a really great opportunity to present where we sit at the moment for you guys. And please, as many questions as I can answer. If I can't, I'll get one of my colleagues in either the technical or commercial side to set you guys straight. I hope that gives you a good overview.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Coach K there on the advisory team.
Exactly.
I do have some questions from social media here. One person asked, will there be rewards for liquidity providers?
Yes, through the FXF token.
Got it. And then
that's
this
going to
one,
help drive the liquidity.
Awesome. And this one comes from my buddy Barry. He says, what differentiates Finx from Orion, I think?
Yeah.
Especially from a passive income perspective.
So, but on Orion, obviously, we are going to be regulated, okay? And we're going to have separate custodial insurance for your assets. And I suspect, I don't know Orion fully, but we're going to have over 25, launch over 25 liquidity and protocols when we go live. So other companies like Tagomi, Spox, more traditional, but in the crypto space, they don't have that spread across the market.
Okay. Do you see yourself as more?
Go ahead.
Sorry, David.
Do you see yourself more as an institutional kind of product, or are you seeing yourself as kind of a crossbreed for?
It is a hybrid. It's both. But we need to make it accessible to institutions. We don't want to cut off the retail investor, and we want that to be a place where both people can play at a fair playing field, because obviously the aggregation engine is benefit for both parties, right? It's not if you're in retail, you're on a separate run. It's linked, so you're both going to get the benefits there. But because we are looking more regulated with KYC, AML, and all those procedures, that we are aware that a certain percentage of the market won't want to do that. Yeah. And we're okay with that. There's other companies out there that can provide that. We want to be the main portal for where the money's flowing, right? So we need to get the right regulation marks in place so that the institutional money can flow, and that's what's really going to drive our whole business forward. But we don't want to forget the retail, and this will provide them an opportunity to get the best price in best liquidity and best execution, which they wouldn't be able to do across that amount of protocols and exchanges, both on DeFi and CeFi.
Yeah, no, sounds good. There's quite a few questions coming in.
Big project from what I could see.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few questions coming in. So I think with that in mind, we will just kind of throw through those if we can. So a quick question is your product live right now? I think you sort of mentioned it's planning to go next Q1.
The demo platform you can look at right now, so you can get a feel of what it is. Q1, end of Q1, it's going to be released.
Excellent.
So we are not far away.
No,
and the API side will be in Q2, which will plug into the institutional side.
Okay.
Someone on Twitter asked, how do you plan to scale adoption for your product? Someone on Twitter said, how do you plan to scale adoption for your product?
Okay, so I think that the platform is going to really drive that because of the pricing benefits. And then the token side with the farming and the fact that they're going to get the FXF token, which can be utilized against some of their trading fees. People are going to go where they can get the best liquidity, the best price, best execution, and that's what we're aiming to be. So hopefully, if we do our jobs right, that's going to be where we're at, and the money's going to go to that. It's going to, like it flows from DeFi to where the best yields are. It's going to flow to the where you can get the best pricing and best liquidity.
Yeah, I would follow up that statement by saying, 1inch is a liquidity aggregator, and it's supposed to generate best price, or people will leverage it for best price along with others. And I still see that a majority of the volume will flow through Uniswap. The user experience is better there.
Yeah,
it's just much simpler, low friction. So though I agree that in some instances that best price can drive, I also think user experience in terms of UI and UX for frictionless swapping is very important. So maybe you could highlight that aspect as well in terms of how we can lower friction in the process, UI, etc.
Yeah, I think that's best answered by the product development team. But I fully agree with you that I'm a user of Uniswap. I love the simplicity of it. So I fully take that on board and accept that the user experience is critical. And then we have to also bridge that with some of the more traditional, that if they look at Uniswap, it might be a step too far, right? So that's why we're trying to embed it in one platform so that it's got access to all, without some of the we won't have the simplicity of the Uniswap UI, because that's the nature of it. It's just so simple, but it will be on one platform. So maybe we'll get that addressed better by the tech team for you.
Okay.
Joel's been beating us on that as well.
No, that's fine. So I'm just having a quick look over the website. You've got quite a lot of detail here.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you mentioned, you can create a demo.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of information here. It clearly looks very institutional to me, which is ties in with what you're saying. There's some interesting things in there around dark pool trading.
That's right.
Which kind of sort of hit me initially with regulatory stuff. So I guess that doesn't have any impact there. But I guess fundamentally, you're looking for your competitive nature here is trying to find a trading platform for more institutional funds as well as people. So I guess there'll be some level of, as you say, KYC.
Yes.
I think probably to get into that dealer broker, that more traditional market,
That's
probably correct. People that are more institutional type investors too. And I guess looking on the competitive, you're looking at low fees as well.
Yes.
So, and you've got a credit debit card function too for utility there too. So what would you say is like 2021? What's your biggest focus? And, I guess you're coming from a more traditional background anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're looking to get a bit more involved into the crypto ecosystem. What's your thoughts?
Exactly. And it's mainly to drive liquidity, to get those rewards. Obviously, we want to be the deepest pool of liquidity available so people can get in and out. Our dark pool, our smart algorithm, it's going to do TWAP and VWAP. So it's going to slice up those orders into child orders and ping them to get your overall aggregated best price. Okay, so that is obviously a more traditional world where we're trying to bridge that gap into crypto. So the first thing is we want to have the right feeling in the space of trust and security, and that we're delivering on global best price, top order book, right? And you guys, you all know, and you can all see the different prices on all the exchanges. And we want to show you that we're able to deliver on that. especially if you're using larger order sizes. And that is going to build trust. So trust, security, best price. And
Matt,
drive that liquidity.
Matt, I had a couple of questions. First off, great pitch.
Thanks.
So your token is going to be classed as a utility token, right? Or is it going to be classed as security?
Utility.
Utility. All right. The second question, what's your hard cap?
We'll talk about that because we'll talk about that offline if that's all right.
Gotcha. The third question, and why I actually asked the second question is more about KYC, AML, CTF, OFAC, et cetera.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that? Because it sounds like you're taking liquidity from a lot of places, and even though it's a utility token, you mentioned MAS and the other regulatory bodies. How exactly are you using third-party providers?
Yeah, Passbook is our KYC, Passbase, sorry. KYC is our KYC check. Obviously, our main hire that's coming, Chief Compliance Officer, is critical for that, understanding all the regulation globally. And I'm sure you can guess where they're going to come from. They're going to come from a traditional space because they've had to go through all of this pain. So we're going to use Passbase, and there's going to be it's going to be a lot more regulated in terms of how we're going to go through all the KYC and AML. Mm-hmm. And that may be a barrier to some people joining us, but for us to gain the money further up the tree in institution, we're going to have to do that so they feel safe and secure when they're trading.
Right. No, that point you brought up about like it'll be a certain barrier because cryptocurrency, blockchain,
Exactly.
Anonymity is a big part, right? And if you're going to be doxed, if you will, that could be a huge barrier. So that's why I posed that question. But thank you.
Yeah. Yes, no problem. It's something we're having to differentiate ourselves, and having that custody off the exchange where it's insured. So if Coinbase goes down again, and you can just that order's going straight to KuCoin, Binance, wherever else, or Kraken, wherever the next.
Maybe not KuCoin.
Oh yeah. Well, it will go straight onto our wallet, so it won't touch any issues with if it gets hacked. So that's one of the reasons, because of James, our founder and CEO, when he was affected personally by Mt. Gox. So that whole, how can we keep it in our custody whilst running that protocol so we get the best price and best liquidity in top order book, right? So it is going to be a bit more of a traditional lean, but that's where large money's coming. We've all seen MicroStrategy, we've all seen Square, and buying from OTC and wherever. But having that regulation, I think, whether we like it or not, is coming in the space. The discussion with CBDCs, what IMF are talking about, it's all being discussed. So we want to be ahead of the game when that actually does happen. Having the relationships with the regulators, showing that we followed due process and done our due diligence, we're going to be in a better position once that regulation kicks.
Makes sense. Just last question. Did you say, so you mentioned custody is in-house, and you mentioned insurance. Do you have someone providing or insuring
so
platform or users' funds at this point?
Fireblocks is our custodian. Obviously, they've got MPC, which is really secure, and that's where where the assets are held, insured.
Got it.
So it's off the exchange straight away. One wallet, one KYC, one platform, 4 pairs in one window, one go. DeFi and CeFi. So hopefully it will provide one point of entry for all the purchases.